Hey there everyone, welcome to my video guide on my favorite Division 2 SMG build. If you want a concise, down-to-the-point video of a build, then I think you're in the right place. Today I am going to introduce you to my go-to SMG build. It might not break DPS records, but it's an absolute blast to play and strikes a perfect balance between survival, damage and ease of use. First, I will walk you through the essential armor pieces and weapon choices, including some great alternatives. Then we will dive into the skills that synergize with this build and make it shine. Finally, I will share some tips on what to watch out for and how to make the most out of it. So let's jump right into it. First, let's talk about the nitty-gritty of our SMG build by discussing the essential armor pieces. To start, I recommend a setup with 4 offensive and 2 defensive core attributes. This strikes a balance, offering both good firepower and some extra protection for both you and your shield. However, feel free to adjust this to your comfort levels. More defensive attributes means naturally some added survivability, but it will take longer to kill enemies. The key to this build is the Striker set talent with 4 pieces equipped. This talent boosts our damage based on the number of stacks we accumulate by hitting enemies. By default, each stack grants a 0.65% bonus to weapon damage with a maximum of 100 stacks. So basically, if you're doing good, you're having 65% weapon damage bonus. But here's where it gets interesting. We will supercharge this bonus damage to 1% per stack, thanks to a talent on the Striker's backpack. Typically for sets that don't have crucial backpack talents, I would suggest the Ninja Bike backpack. However, in this particular case, we will stick with the Striker's backpack. The 35% bonus damage at max stacks is just too good to pass up. On my backpack, I have rolled armor, critical hit chance and a mod with critical hit damage. Now, for the remaining Striker pieces, you will want to go with gloves, knee pads and a holster. On each of these, I have rolled critical hit damage and weapon damage as the core attribute. Well, except for one item, where I put defensive core attribute. Where you put it, it doesn't really matter. Depends on your drops and your preferences. Here's where it gets interesting. We will use the chest piece, which is brand set, and that gives us some options. You can go with different brands, such as Walker Harris & Company for 5% weapon damage, Grupo Sombra for a sweet 15% crit damage bonus, or Sokolov for a 10% SMG damage boost. Personally, I went with Walker, but that's just because I dropped such piece with a good talent that complements my build, and that talent is Obliterate. This talent grants bonus weapon damage stacks on critical hits up to 25% weapon damage for 5 seconds. Now, you might be wondering why I didn't go with the Striker's chest piece. Well, I found it really challenging to maintain stacks above 100 with Striker, making Obliterate a way better fit for our crit heavy build. Other chest piece talents to consider include Glass Cannon, which boosts your damage significantly but makes you really squishy. Then you have also Unbreakable, which restores your armor when it breaks, but with quite a long cooldown. And lastly, we have Braced, which could work too, but it doesn't really synergize all that well with our playstyle as SMG player. And as the last piece of our armor, we have the mask. I am personally using Coyote's exotic mask, which is perfect for DPS builds, especially the ones with SMGs. The talent on this mask synergizes beautifully with our build, offering 25% crit damage boost to enemies within 15 meters. And when we shoot an enemy at a distance of 15 to 25 meters, we get a bonus 10% crit chance and 10% crit damage. This actually impacts really heavily how you should allocate critical chance and critical damage attributes in your set. The key point here is to keep in mind there's a crit chance cap of 60% and Coyote's mask bonus. Ideally, aim for a 50 to 55% crit chance range. 50% ensures that no bonus from Coyote's mask is lost during medium distance engagements, but it also means that you are hitting slightly fewer crits when you are within 15 meters. Personally, I have found a crit chance of 54% to be the perfect sweet spot. Now let's delve into our weapon choices for this build. Our primary weapon for this loadout is the Vector SMG. You have two solid options here. First is the named Dark Winter, and then we have also the default Vector SBR 9mm. Either one actually works exceptionally well. Dark Winter, our named choice, comes with a perfect talent that grants a whopping 50% bonus crit damage for 10 seconds after taking down an enemy with a critical hit. And trust me, you will be landing critical hits left and right with this build. On the other hand, the default Vector can be customized with various talents such as Preservation, Optimist, Close and Personal, or Fast Hands. Personally, I really like Fast Hands because it significantly speeds up reload times, minimizing downtime in intense gunfights. All in all, Vector is an incredibly satisfying weapon to use in Division 2. This SMG boasts a high rate of fire with nearly 1400 rounds per minute, with a decent magazine size and a nice damage per bullet value for that speed. Dark Winter packs a bit more punch per shot, but comes with 8 fewer bullets. I lean towards the regular Vector due to how versatile and customizable it is. Our second weapon of choice is the named shotgun, the Rock and Roll. The named version of this shotgun boasts a 50% increased magazine size, which means you have 30 bullets per magazine. You will find this shotgun incredibly handy for rapidly building striker stacks at the start of the gunfight, thanks to its large clip and impressive fire rate, especially for a shotgun. If you do not have Rock and Roll yet, use a default ACS-12 shotgun with some spicy talents. And last but not least, we have the exotic pistol, the Busy Bee. This sidearm marks enemies you hit with it, and when you swap out of the pistol, you receive a staggering 20% weapon damage bonus for 10 seconds for each marked enemy, with the potential for up to 10 stacks. That's an absolutely insane damage boost. Now let's talk about our specialization choice, which is the gunner. We have selected this specialization for a few key reasons. First, it provides a 5% bonus to rate of fire upon each kill, aligning perfectly well with our rapid fire build style. Additionally, the gunner offers a fantastic perk where every third reload is 50% quicker. This further minimizes the downtime between firing our SMG, keeping us in action. On top of that, each kill grants us a bonus 10% armor, providing valuable survivability. And the cherry on top is the Banshee Pulse, a skill we will dive into next. So now let's explore the skills that make this build shine. The Banshee Pulse is a fantastic crowd control tool in our arsenal. It allows us to disorient a group of enemies, giving us precious seconds to mow them down while they are dazed and confused. Our second skill choice is the Crusader Shield, which enables us to wield an SMG while the shield is still equipped. What makes this even better is that the shield benefits from our defensive core attributes, providing a substantial defensive boost. So there you have it, the Striker Vector build. Before we wrap up, let's walk through how the battle flows with this build, especially for those of you who are new or returning to the game. When you kick off an encounter, start by marking enemies with your Busy Bee pistol. Even one mark significantly boosts your damage. Your goal is generally to close the gap between you and your foes as quickly as possible to a range which is friendly for your shotgun. Once you are in close quarters, switch to your shotgun to start building your striker stacks. The Rock and Roll shotgun excels at rapidly stacking damage bonuses. If enemies are clustered together, like when they are bottlenecked through a doorway for instance, use your Banshee Pulse to disorient and take them out quickly while they are still grouped together. I typically fire about 3/4 of the shotgun magazine before switching to the Vector SMG. From there, you have to adapt to the situation. Always keep an eye out for flanking enemies. In Division 2, they are your biggest threat, regardless of the build you are using. If you find yourself dying too frequently, consider equipping the Reviving Hive skill instead of the Banshee Pulse until you get the hang of the battle tactics with this build. With practice, you will become a formidable force on the battlefield, making the most of your Striker Vector build. Now, go out there and show those enemies who's the boss. So, that wraps up our Vector build with Striker, a setup that is still going strong in 2023. I've got another variant of this build featuring the Ninja Bike backpack and adding some extra survivability, which I will be sharing with you soon. Running with SMGs is actually my second favorite way of playing Division 2, right after the Heartbreaker build with an AR. Now, I would love to hear from you. What's your favorite SMG build? Have you experimented with different variations of Vector builds that you would like to recommend here? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this video helpful or entertaining, a thumbs up would mean a lot. And if you want to stay updated for more content from me in the future, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Thank you for your time, and I'll see you in the next one.